Welcome back to Twist of Fate, a small business podcast where you can find your inspiration.
Okay. Definitely never did a podcast before.
The energy of the people, especially, it's palpable.
And the managing director.
Yeah, look at me.
Sorry.
I hope you enjoyed this content.
So much fun.
If you want to catch my entire interview, which was great, by the way, you can catch it on the Twist of Fate podcast.
I'm Dr. Elizabeth Clayborne, and I am the CEO and co-founder of NasaClip, which is introducing the first and only adjustable, hands-free nosebleed rescue device. This is my first time visiting Doug and his family in California, and I'm thrilled to be here. So I first came up with the idea for NasaClip when I was a resident in emergency medicine, and I realized that we see about 500,000 ER visits a year for nosebleeds. And I just couldn't believe that many people would come to see a doctor like me and wait hours potentially to take care of a problem that I thought was relatively simple. But I soon learned that there weren't great solutions either inside or outside of the hospital to treat nosebleeds. So I came up with one, which was NasaClip. However, taking that journey from an idea in my head to an actual product that's now available for purchase on nasaclip.com was long and arduous. And I definitely came up against my fair share of hurdles. I think that what really pushed me through is a belief in myself that I knew I had a solid idea, that I had unique experiences as a physician, as a mom, and as a woman of color that really made me resilient and innovative. And so I was able to do some pitch competitions, make sure I secured my IP, raise my first $1 million of capital, and get my company off the ground. And so it's really interesting for me to look back now to see how much I've accomplished since that very first idea back in 2015, all the way up to now where we're now in market, having raised over $3 million and on track to make NasaClip a global brand name for nosebleed rescue. I've done quite a few podcasts. Ironically, when COVID hit in 2020, I was pregnant at the time with my second child. And because I was in this unique position being a frontline ER doctor in the middle of a global pandemic, I ended up doing quite a few news stories and learned that I had a knack, I guess, for speaking on television live or just speaking in general. And I thought at the time it was important to do that, to be, this Black female physician that was particularly communicating to my patients that might have been mistrusting or scared of what was going on in healthcare. And I found that has been really helpful for me as a founder. So I continue to employ those skills, and I try to get on podcasts all the time to share my entrepreneurial journey and also everything that I have learned as I've built up the NasaClip brand. And I've been really excited to have now Twist of Fate added to my resume or my experience, because I'm very excited about everything that Doug is doing with his podcast and the reach that it's had. So I certainly want an opportunity to share the NasaClip brand. I'm really excited to introduce this new product that is the nosebleed rescue solution for anyone, no matter who they are or where they are, whether they're a physician, a nurse, a coach, a trainer, a parent, or just someone who suffers from frequent nosebleeds. But I'd also like the opportunity to discuss with Doug my journey as a Black female founder, because I think a lot of people could benefit from learning how I surmounted, challenges that have been really difficult in raising capital for an early, medical device startup, as well as the investors who are looking at, potential founders like myself and understanding that, there are extreme benefits to taking a quote unquote risk with a founder that they may not be as familiar with, and why that's not just important to bring great ideas to fruition, but also just to, I think, strengthen our entire culture, economy, and country as a whole. So I usually share 3 pieces of advice that I think is really important for anyone who's venturing out on their entrepreneurial journey. First, remember that this is a marathon, okay, not a sprint. You have to enjoy the journey along the way. And so you can't just reward yourself when you've reached, the ultimate milestone of whatever that might be. You got to make sure you're enjoying life, as you're building this company. Otherwise, you're going to burn out and you're not actually going to get there. So that means make sure you're investing in your health, your family, your fun, whatever it is that gives you joy, spend some time doing that. The second thing I would say is that you have to make sure you have some advisors or mentors that are at different stages in their career. So I always make sure I have someone who I feel like is maybe 5 years out from where I want to be, 10 years out, and at the end of their career. All of them have differing advice, and you as entrepreneur or founder have to take the initiative to engage in that relationship and always be looking for new mentors and friends that can guide you along the way. And the last thing is that I encourage people to celebrate themselves. You know, in many ways, I understand that I'm already my ancestors' wildest dreams come true, right? I'm a Black female physician. I'm a CEO. I'm incredibly successful. I've talked nationally on television. You know, I'm a mom. Like, in many ways, I am living my best life. And it's important for me to celebrate that. I think that that positivity and energy will carry momentum into the future and allow me to continue addressing and reaching and achieving my goals. If you want to catch my entire interview, you can catch it at the Twist of Fate podcast.